Can you believe it is December already, Ben? Holy shit, we're getting towards the end of the year, but you know what that means. That means it's officially time to start watching Christmas movies. I know you've already started, but for me, it's time to start watching Christmas movies officially.
I've been there since Halloween, my friend.
Well, I have already started a little bit of Hot Frosty the other night.
What did you think of Hot Frosty?
Terrible. I couldn't believe some of the talent in
Yeah.
there.
Like Craig Davis, is it?
Is that the
Craig?
cop?
Yeah.
Yeah, and his sidekick.
His sidekick. Yeah. Like they're all names, and for me, the weak point is Lacey Chabert.
Yeah.
Like it's she's fine in a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
But if they're trying to elevate it and make it a bit bigger, then they should have got Danica McKellar.
This is one of those stupid movies where she doesn't even make a wish for this Frostman, this snowman to come alive, but he does, and it's the most ridiculous thing. Anyway, so
the part that I really don't understand. Sorry, I know you want to get on with the show, but I want to talk about Hot Frosty.
I shouldn't have brought it up.
The part I don't understand, right, is that, and this is not a spoiler.
Not that anyone cares.
Not that anyone cares. But she goes to visit her friends at the op shop or whatever the hell it is they run, and she goes, "Here is this scarf, my magic scarf. This is what brought us together. It is a treasured heirloom, and we want you to have it." And then she goes straight outside and goes, "You know what? I'm going to give this piece of shit scarf to the fucking snowman."
You keep it.
Yeah, just walks off after they've made this. It's so bizarre. Who? I would love to chat to whoever wrote that.
Consider that a cheesy recommendation, folks. Hot Frosty. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
But hey, everyone, welcome to the show. It's Good Movie Monday. We're the podcast dedicated to nerdy cinematic ramblings. In case you don't know, I'm Glenn. This is Ben, and we're going to ramble on about movies for the next 90 minutes because it's what we do. Don't forget to follow us on social media. Go to our website, goodmoviemonday.com, and there are links to all of the platforms. We are on them. If you give us a like and a subscribe, that goes a long way to support us. You can engage with us, ask us questions. We'd love to hear from you because we will actually name drop you on the show if you do.
Because, as desperate as we are for sponsors, we're even more desperate for listeners. And we'll do anything for you if you let us know that you're listening.
We just want love.
Yeah.
So this week we do have another interview lined up for you. It's with a director named James Croke, who has a new techno horror movie coming out called Latency. Which is out this week on physical media. And if you are on our social medias and paying attention, you may have got a glimpse of it because I accidentally put it out a week early. I did pull it offline, though, so it will drop this coming Thursday. But if you're one of the lucky ones, you've already seen it.
It's an interesting film, Latency. Yeah. Despite what happens in the film, because it is a horror film, I really want to play that fucking game.
I know. We'll talk a bit about that coming up. Our weekly segments are also in a few moments. We've got Jarrett Garn to talk about a massive explosion of releases this week on physical media. Now that the Black Friday sale is over, all the suppliers are dropping shit tons of stuff, so keep listening to that. We go into all the good stuff, what's available on the releases with the special features and the specs and all that stuff. Bonehead Weekly, that's also coming up. They're going to talk about trains in movies, and I've got a bone of contention to pick with that one when we get to it. You know what I'm talking about. We'll get to it.
Let's just say that some collars got red that had nothing to do with the Christmas season. Some very, very strong opinions came out after that piece.
We have got some techno thriller related songs coming up for you. All of the nerdy cinematic ramblings that we promise. Some other exciting news I just want to mention before we just push on is you can get a whole lot more of us coming soon because we are going to be weekly contributors or monthly contributors to a new podcast called the Movieland Podcast. I think that's the name of it. I don't know.
It should be. If it's not, it should be.
If you don't know, Movieland, the old video store brand, has sort of been resurrected. It's an online platform with a digital magazine. It's got all kinds of interviews and things like that. They are hoping to bring forth. I hope I'm not speaking out of tune here, but hoping to maybe do some kind of pop-up store kind of thing. Remains to be seen, but we are going to be contributors on that. So keep your eyes peeled. We will be we'll be contributing some fun retro themed stuff for that show. Ben, you know what time it is.
Who's the crazy motherfucker? Who's gonna watch all 47 Hallmark Christmas movies and TV shows? It's Ben.
That's who.
And who's gonna listen to him talk about it, even though the joke stopped being funny weeks ago? It's Glenn.
That's who.
And you.
What was that?
A little bit of trumpet.
Sounds like a balloon. That was an interesting one.
It's very possible. Yeah.
That was a nice, casual, laid-back one.
Yeah, I like that it got in. I can't remember if it's in the other one. I think I cut the line in a lot
No,
of
you
them,
did.
but I like it. Even though the joke stopped being funny weeks ago.
That's why I saved this one for
Saved
this,
for
this
this.
week. Yeah.
And I realised, I know we I think we spoke last week a bit about how I'm way behind.
Yeah.
And then you kind of brought up that the show actually ends. I think our last show is like on the 21st of December or something like that.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I even if I fail, you'll never know, because the Hallmark movies do not stop until Christmas Eve. I think there's no way I can actually complete it in time, because there are movies that
They drop after the fact.
after we finish recording. Yeah, so that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it.
You bit off more than you can chew.
Jesus, did I? There is.
Worth it for the jingles, my friend.
It certainly is. And look, I tend to put these movies on in the background while I'm at work. Sometimes they're so good that I get sucked into them. Sometimes I completely miss them. This week's two that I watched. Three. Three that I watched
You're on track.
are actually pretty bloody good. The first, although bizarre in a way that only Hallmark movies and now Netflix with Hot Frosty can be. I watched this. The first one I watched was this great one called Jingle Bell Run, which stars Ashley Williams, the sister of Kimberly Williams from Father of the Bride.
That's one letter away from a disaster movie.
Yeah.
Jingle Bell Runs. Imagine that. Having the Jingle Bell Runs.
In fact, I've got them right now. And this movie, Ashley Williams, and Andrew Walker compete in a Christmas-themed TV kind of show that's like The Great Race,
Oh, cool.
and where they have to solve Christmas-related puzzles in order to, and it's all televised. And the thing is, they kind of start falling because it is a Hallmark movie. They start falling in love as they're opposite. They're the complete opposite.
Mm-hmm.
He's sporty, she's academic. He loves adventure. She does not like adventure.
Of course. It's formula.
Yeah, it's a definite formula. The problem is, and the producer at one point, the sticking point to the whole film is that the producer pulls him aside because he's a famous kind of hockey player, ex-hockey player who's just kind of retired, and he's looking for something to get him back in the spotlight, which is why he agrees to go on the show. And says, look, were betting on another couple to be the big kind of the romance, the hook of the show, but they drop out the first round.
Yeah, right. So they need a
So they need a replacement, and they're like, "Oh, why don't you, just flirt a little and play it all up?" And of course, she overhears them later on in the show as they're starting to fall in love, and that's what causes the
conflict.
contention.
Yeah.
The problem with it is, except at the finish line, there are no cameras on them from the TV. You never see the TV show people in it at
like
all.
the Truman Show.
Yeah, like totally. You're like, how is this being filmed? Like, and they give away, like they literally, it's really bad pub trivia. When they ask the question and someone at the table go and just spurt out the answer really loud so everyone can hear it. They do it every single time.
Oh, God.
It is.
You have just given me a great idea for another Hallmark movie, and I sort of gave myself the idea there. Imagine if they did the Truman Show, but they're trapped inside like a North Pole setting, and that's been their existence their entire life. It's a TV studio, but they think they're elves.
They're elves. Yeah, they're just raised as if they were.
Yeah.
That's what they think they are.
Right.
Totally. That would be great. The second one I watched was another interesting one called Santa Tell Me, which stars Erin Krakow and Aussie Daniel Lissing, who are, funnily enough, both the stars of Where the Heart Calls, that Canadian TV series about pioneer times. Or I guess he plays a Mountie, so it's whatever the Canadian version of that is.
Yep.
And in this one, she writes as a little girl, she writes a letter to Santa to kind of hook her up with her like perfect match. and then like she moves out of her family home and gets on with her life, and then she comes back 25 years later. She's the host of a like a home improvement show, and Daniel Lissing is the new producer, and they're just about to launch the special that's going to lead into a regular series. And he surprises her by saying, well, guess what? We're actually going to instead of renovate a random house, we're going to renovate your childhood home.
Right.
And so they go back, and in it, then she finds in a hole in the wall, she finds a letter from Santa that's a reply to her letter, saying that she's going to find her perfect match. His name is Nick, and she will know who he is by the by
Santa's
Christmas.
name is Nick.
No, yeah, that is true.
Santa's trying to get in.
Yeah. And then through the course of the show, on the same day, she meets 3 different Nicks.
Oh, no.
And she has to kind of figure out which one is her perfect match, while also similarly making goo-goo eyes at Daniel Lissing, her producer, who's not named Nick.
This is
is he?
Middle name.
Yeah.
It's a great companion, these two films, because both set in the television world.
That's right. And then the last one I watched, and I'll keep this one as brief as possible, was one of the Hallmark mystery ones, which is 5 Gold Rings, which is the one I was looking forward to most, I have to say. But it is probably the Hallmark mystery ones are actually quite disappointing, I have to say, because the mystery part really lacks.
Yeah.
Like, they're not really mysteries. This one, at least they try. This woman kind of inherits her grandmother's antique shop.
Mm-hmm.
And in the will, her grandmother used to have this thing of they would go down to the beach and search out, and she'd bring like a metal detector and find lost treasures.
Yep.
And her thing was not selling them in her antique shop, even though that's what that's what you think you're supposed to do.
Yep.
Is returning them to the people that they belong to.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's got these 5, because it's Christmas, she's found 5 gold rings, and in her will, as part of the getting the shop, she, please continue the tradition. I found these 5 gold rings. Please track down who they belong to.
Okay.
And she teams up with a local private detective who is the worst private. It literally does nothing private detective related at all at one point during the film. Like, he's literally, and he keeps not charging people. Like, they have customers in the background. He's like, oh, no, that's fine. I'll do it for free.
I got to say, it's a terrible title.
It's only if you like the song, I suppose it only works.
I know, but there's no appeal to it.
There's
whatsoever.
no, and there's no mystery either. Like, it's not like they were found at a murder scene, and they're tracking down the owners to see if they know anything about the murder. Nothing like that. It's just really kind of lame. But it was I thought it was a great idea had they handled it differently.
There you go. 3 more down, mate. Many more to go. Let's see how he tracks for the rest of the year.
I do actually have a sheet. I've printed up the Hallmark checklist. I think I've got I'm 13 or 14 down now.
Not bad. Not great, but not bad.
Yeah, of the 36 main Hallmark movies,
It began as a pledge.
Yeah.
And
now it's turning into a lie.
So I just want to quickly mention a movie coming out in the cinemas this week that I have seen called Your Monster, which I think is well worth a look. It's a very unassuming little movie that kind of will fly under a lot of people's radar. It'll probably pick up more traction if it hits streaming and comes out on home end. But if you are at the cinemas and want something kooky and interesting, Your Monster, and it's sort of a bit of a take on, it's almost Drop Dead Fred meets Beauty and the Beast, or Beastly. And it's about a woman who has just been diagnosed with cancer, and her theatre writer / director boyfriend dumps her when he finds out she's got cancer.
Good timing.
What a scumbag.
Good timing.
He does it deliberately because she has cancer. He doesn't want to be there for it. He's like, it's just too much. I can't handle that. So he dumps her, right? And so she...
It's what everyone wants to do, but their conscience doesn't let...
As she's heartbroken and going through her treatment, her childhood monster in the closet comes out, and they reconnect because she needs somebody to support her, and they kind of fall for each other, which is obviously very metaphorical too. She really just reconnected with herself, that kind of thing. But it is dead set funny. It's very beautiful. It's kind of got an element of chorus line and center stage because a lot of it takes place in the theater on the boards.
Okay.
Just a really fun, nice
all,
movie.
Like all good cancer movies, it's hilarious.
It's just really nice. It is, I must admit. And this one was put on to me by the publicist who didn't expect me to cover it at all, but she just goes, I love this movie. I think you'll like it too. You don't have to even cover it. Just have a look. Tell me what you think. And I covered it. I did a review. It's really good. And the lead actress in it is, from Scream, and it's Melissa Barrera. She's also in Annabelle. And she's a new Scream queen, essentially. Tommy Dewey plays the monster. She's fantastic.
in that TV series about the Latino lesbians.
Oh, that sounds good.
What was that? She's got, but she's...
Is it
yeah,
Vida?
Vida,
Vida, yeah, okay. And she's also in The Heights and things like that. But anyway, check it out. Your Monster. If you don't want to catch it at the cinemas, then wait for streaming and give it a look. I think it's well worth it.